expressed in the following are those of its participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the producers and the Six Talk Podcast Network. Also, the following contains mature material and mild language, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Discretion is advised.
And here we go on this Friday night, January 9th, 2026. Presented by Anime North. This is the Anime Roundtable. Check us out on our Linktree page for links to everything Anime Roundtable, from our old school email, blog, and podcast site to our streaming video and socials, animeroundtable.com. Akemashite Omedetou gozaimasu. As we open up our account for 2026, we're at 6 points and we're all in person. Mike Nicolas at the head of the roundtable. Is there such a thing? There's such a thing as the head of the roundtable.
Yes, but you're not at the head of the roundtable. You're on the side, just like us.
Hold on. The north of the table is the head of the table. Where's north?
He's on the northwest side of the corner.
Yeah, we're on the northwest side of the table.
He's still north.
It is a full table. The gang's all here as we begin 2026. As we begin essentially the 20th anniversary year for the show. So the two OGs sit on one side of the table, Mike Nicolas, James Austin, holding the iPhones. On the Android side of the table, Amy-Lynn, Greig, Mohamed, Sharmarke, Kevin Ng. Yes, all five of us are here this evening as we begin 2026.
I mean, to me, you're all the OGs.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, because Kevin only really started coming on as we started version 2, and everybody else, one time or another, sat around during the version 1 era. Mm-hmm. And as I said, on the topic of 20 years, officially, the way this is starting to set up, this is episode 98 of version 2, in terms of regular episodes. And the way things are setting up, episode 100 could line up to happen right on the 20th anniversary in early March. So that's just something to think about. And I always like to say, we always use the Japanese greeting by saying Akemashite.
Yeah, crossing over the new year.
Yeah, because with the way things have gone, getting to 2026 sometimes is no small feat.
Don't worry, Mike. We got 2028 to look forward to.
Yes, we do. I'm sure Ken Jennings is looking forward to that as well.
So you're going to skip the World Cup then?
Oh, wow. That could be, assuming the games are played in Toronto.
Who do you think's going to win?
Oh.
Well, the real question is, who is Canada facing, Wales or Italy?
Oh.
So that means we're losing then. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Well, I was going to laugh because you guys feel good about Italy, but I hate to tell you that the Canadian team really ticked off Wales in the friendly in Wales, and their head coach basically said, we want to play them in the World Cup. And now that they actually have that legitimate chance, even though that friendly didn't have the top players from both sides, I think he's pumping up his team, and they're going to play to try and get in. So they're probably going to be competition for Italy. And if they do get in, I think it'll be a physical game in Toronto between them and Canada.
It's fine.
So the qualifiers still need to happen to decide the matchups right now? This is why I'm not very familiar with FIFA.
I think 6 teams that still have to, there is 5 or 6 final qualifiers involving Europe and Africa, Oceania, and
they have AFC, some different qualifiers. But
okay. So there's some last chance qualifiers. Those teams have been determined who will play in them, but for each of those qualifiers, it's only one spot.
And I think it's in March where those ones happen, and it's basically about 4 teams per group that are fighting it out for those last few spots.
Last couple spots.
I just like that everyone gets to participate.
Yeah.
All 48, 78, 128 countries? How many countries get to participate?
When the tournament starts in full, it's 64. Anyway,
are you sure it's not 128, Mike?
That's probably where we started. Now we're here. Okay.
Well, think of it this way. You're saying the matchups and stuff like that in the one group with England, and you know why England wasn't coming to Toronto. It's like our stadium was too small compared to the other stadiums in the States. Oh. So obviously they wanted them to play where the people are. But as one friend told me, that probably was a blessing in disguise, because think of what the English fans could have done to Toronto.
Well, I'm excited to get to a year with finally an acceptable number of days again. I don't want to skip the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 movie, which is 2027. So
yes.
we need to.
And then we have the Mario movie too, I believe. The Mario movie is this year.
Yeah, that's coming up like in a couple months.
That's the Galaxy movie, and then I think Zelda movie live action is next year.
Also 27.
Wasn't it? I thought it was
no,
next
it's
year.
27. It's 27.
Yeah, 27. Yeah, we're in 26. My brain.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we already in 2027? Oh man!
But it's filming. Like that's wild. Like it's.
They're making a Zelda movie.
It's
they're filming. They're in New Zealand.
They have photos of Link and Zelda. Like it is a movie that will theoretically be in theaters if theaters are still a thing.
Theaters will still be a thing. They'll never go away. I guarantee you that we'll have theaters for the next gazillion years. All right, guys.
The Review will exist and like TIFF Lightbox, but like I don't know about Cineplex.
I'm not happy with that situation right now.
Which one?
Well, which evil corporation is gonna buy this other evil corporation?
Oh, that.
What's the bigger evil?
We're gonna
might result from it.
I think
Who
I know
knows?
what you're talking about. We'll get to that in a bit later on.
I guess I have to pick Netflix. Like.
Well, okay, we'll get to that in a couple minutes.
I'm still holding out hope for Sony Google to merge and become a thing.
Wow, that's
Google. If you're listening, you're gonna own it all one day. I'm here for you.
You remember that Sony's helping Nintendo make that Zelda live action.
Hey, Google's not doing anything. They're not in any of the gaming spaces. They can get in this, you know.
They tried.
Remember Stadia?
Stadia.
okay. Way to go.
Sorry.
Okay, we're just gonna wipe up here because Mo spilled his water.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Napkins? Napkins are over there. Check your... is the books... are the books okay?
Yeah, they're okay. We just need a...
Yeah, just have to wipe it off quickly. Thank you. My bad. Yeah, we have drinks around the table too. Nothing alcoholic, just for reference, just water. But hey, as I said, we are around here.
Is electronics okay?
Yeah, we'll be fine. I'm confident in that.
Laptop's not close by.
No, nothing's here. As I said, this is
this is cuttable if you feel so inclined.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. So I will preface this that really the purpose of the episode tonight is to get caught up on some of the headlines that have happened over the last couple months since we haven't really done too much in the way of real recordings. Yes, more pressing other things have come up probably, and I want to let those settle in. There are some big stories still that are ongoing, and I think we want to at least give a few updates to that and maybe a few other thoughts. And I'll be honest, aside from a general outline I gave to the others this morning, the prep isn't, well, it's not as if we're usually prepared anyway. We do try. Honestly, the most preparation I think we do I do for any one episode during the year is the Anime North episode, the second recording we do there, because I usually end up sitting somewhere in a corner for a good hour to actually write notes. My notebook on this one is more or less empty, but it will probably be filled with some certain thoughts and maybe titles when we get to that part of the show towards the end. On the topic of roadmaps, and this is maybe something else I'll say for later on. I actually asked ChatGPT earlier, or a month ago, about how we should handle...
The devil? You were talking to the devil?
Yes, well, yeah. I actually asked it about the podcast, and it started to suggest a roadmap to promoting the show and what type of episodes we should do, and how we should handle things over the next 12 months.
That's how they get you, Mike. First they want you to plan, and then they want you to execute. Come on, man.
Well,
how
yeah,
did it suggest entering the Matrix and all of the lies that
well, as I said, it's always interesting whenever we unleash the AI, at least in terms of this show, right, Mo?
Yes.
But I always like to at least acknowledge that I do look this up. It's so flattering sometimes what AI says about this show. It is hilarious.
It has to, man. It knows where its bread is buttered.
Yeah, well, it knows where the question, or it knows where the question is coming from, right? But
as long as it's not talking to you and stuff like that, as we learned from the dubs.
As we learned. Okay, well, it's the first time we've talked with Amy in a little while, so I have to put her on the spot just for a little bit. Any thoughts? Like I know Mo and Kevin James, they've, especially Kevin in the Space Eater we did just before the
Japan?
New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well,
it was nice.
Any thoughts on anything we've talked about in the last couple months? Like, is there something that caught your attention?
I think the thing that caught my attention the most was, I was listening to the latest Space Heater on the drive up here, and you said how you enjoy to see the chaos of the hotel bookings at Anime North, and I almost thought
Has that happened yet?
I almost thought I'd do a U-turn on the DVP. On the drive up, I was like, it's been a long time since I heard Mike's voice, and I'm like, I actually thought like, oh, it's been a long time. I've missed seeing him. I've missed doing the podcast, and then I hear I like the chaos of the Anime North hotel thing. And I'm like, I'm halfway there. I can still turn back. There's still time. And then like 5 minutes later, you were like, I like hiding in parking lots and tricking people that I'm going to leave.
I think you said he only did that on Boxing Day, right?
That was really insane, man.
So yeah, like that's what I'm mostly taking away from the last episode.
It's funny because I think I mentioned this in the episode too, where I have a friend. I'd say he's a friend of the show. He likes to go into the malls on Boxing Day just to watch. Like, he'll buy stuff too, but he likes to go and watch the chaos, so to speak. And
that's not chaos.
Like,
that's not chaos compared to Anime North hotels.
Like, is this a Filipino thing? Because I know you're both Filipino. It's like
anyway. Well, on that note, we were going to bring it up a bit later on, but on that note...
Is this Monday, right? Is it this Monday?
Yeah, okay, so let's go through the Anime North calendar.
Well, tomorrow it's the
online
tickets.
registration begins.
Yeah.
Online registration begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Saturday the 10th.
Of course not using Ticketmaster.
Alertbrite?
Eventbrite. That's where we start. Opening date.
They must be charged an arm and a leg.
Anime North registration begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. By the time this episode goes up, the registrations would have begun. Room block reservations begin Monday on January 12th at noon. There's the popcorn moment I was referring to, probably. I'm sure we're going to hear about that. That's the other thing. So Anime North season kind of begins in earnest tomorrow. So, the registrations for Artist Alley, Pro Plaza, those are Pro Plaza Vendors Hall. Those have been ongoing since late November. I think we brought that up. So we'll see how that starts to go.
From what I've heard from friends, Artist Alley is already all
done?
Booked up. Yeah.
Sounds
People are on wait lists.
Okay.
And making their deals to have a corner of the desk or the table with their friends.
It's kind of crazy to think that they expanded it so much to have, an entire thing, and it's still not enough.
Yeah, because Artist Alley is lucrative at AN. Without a doubt. Why do you think it's... Well, now I know it's always a lottery now, but back when it wasn't a lottery, it'd sell out in like 2 seconds.
So,
for good reason.
Like, I don't think this had happened at the last recording I was a part of, but I went to the grand opening of Artist Alley in Toronto, which is a permanent, we'll see, Artist Alley store. It's similar to a Maker's Mart or an Arts Market.
Is that one youngster?
Yeah, I heard about this.
And this was a 3-hour wait, and it was... Honestly, the sunk cost fallacy at a certain point. I had waited long enough that I didn't want to not wait. Should have done that with that Miku thing at the Japan Festival, but because that was definitely not worth it. Versus the Artist Alley, I would say would be almost worth it. That's the one.
On Yonge Street,
just showed me the Google Maps of it. Wild time waiting for that grand opening. We had protests, like the weird racists. Then we had a bunch of furries on motorcycles.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a nice balance there. But it's an interesting setup. It's a lot of the same vendors or artisans you would see at Anime North or other conventions. The Artist Alley shop takes 15% off your total price, but there is no taxes. So it does kind of balance out, I suppose.
That's interesting. So just to clarify, so they take 15% of the sales from
whatever your receipt is, yeah. So whatever price you see on the shelf, so if like a pin is $10, it'll be plus 15%.
Oh, it's plus 15. Okay, I thought they would take.
No.
Isn't the same plus or minus?
No, it depends because it's 10% off of total value, right? So they're actually charging the customer
the extra
rather than charging the
and that's how they're making rent.
Because I thought they would have
to pay their employees.
Because I thought they would have lease the space, the space out to the artist. That's how it normally works.
That's how an arts market and a maker's market works. This is seemingly a little bit different. There still might be some factor of that. I don't know their business model. I didn't care to research that.
That's
but
interesting.
It has had lineups beyond the opening day.
Is that one the blue one?
Yep, you can. If that's the opening day, I might be in that photo.
That's an interesting. Like, it makes it more friendly
famous,
for
Amy.
the artist.
You're famous.
I don't know if I'm there. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
It's a big line. It's funny.
It went all the way to Church Street the first day. So it's about a block, I guess, south. And it stretched all the way to Church Street.
Wow.
Like, they had to cut the line at a certain point. And it was rough to wait in line, but it was also kind of really heartening, sort of in this, day of extreme capitalism, to have this, artisan, and, especially with generative AI, being so, involved. It was in the world. It was great to see, hundreds of people passionate about fan art, basically, and sort of artisan jewelry that had that kind of, anime aesthetic. Because it's not just fan art. I bought a bunch of bird pins, or at least a couple bird. I got a hummingbird and a raven. It was lots of cool stuff there. They did have an 18 plus room, and I don't know why. I had the most naive sapphic dreams that were crushed upon opening that door, because I was expecting, you know what, I hope that there are some sapphic watercolor paintings beyond this room. I open the door and no, there are no sapphic watercolor paintings beyond that door.
Is it that room?
Was it just...
That's the room.
Was it just genitals in your face immediately kind of thing?
No, but yes. But it was mostly breasts, but the kind of the stupid mouse pads that were popular in the 2000s, but on posters. And it was the rest of the store is so lovingly crafted, and these were just on this shelf, and it was haphazard. I'm obviously not the target audience, because I'm not going to go into the whole details there, but
I know there is a market for things of that ilk. I always look at Sakimi-chan's booth at the local cons, and there's usually traffic at her table. So it depends on the execution, of course, but
not, at least not in the room the opening day, and I didn't care to go back on my subsequent trip. But it's great. I'm glad it exists, because as much as I love the Artist Alley, I love enamel pins in general, it is, even with Anime North's been getting so much better with it, as far as crowd management and aisle spacing, but it's still stressful, it's still crowded. At least having a permanent store, I can pick a 2 p.m. Tuesday in the summer and go and probably not have a nightmare headache. So I wish it all the best.
I'm going to underscore the respect I have for the entrepreneurial spirit that dots people who do the Artist Alley, any Artist Alley. Because I admit I'm not a frequenter of these type of things, right? But I hold an amazing respect, talking with Squirrely over the years. And her and Ill Intent doing the Artist Alley over the years at Anime North, I kind of gained a little bit of insight and a little bit of, as I said, there's a certain appreciation for what I've learned people who do that have to go through.
Oh yeah.
And it's just grown. Mm-hmm. There's like, you see these in other stores. You see those consignment type situations. And I forgot the name.
Mr. Surprise.
Mr. Surprise, because I've gone there to the Midland Finch locations.
Yep.
So I've been I'm just in awe of it, of how people just go about that.
You don't want to venture to the liminal wonderland that is the well?
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole waiting to happen.
Listen, we'll do a space heater just on the well. I can just be shocked and
ramble
about it.
The thing is, I knew that there was a location there. I've known that for a little while, and truth be told, I've passed by the well a few times, mainly on a streetcar, right?
Have you gone inside yet?
No, I haven't gone inside.
It is,
I have to see it.
You
I
do.
do.
It needs to be seen to be believed.
And it's strange because Indigo has an outlet there. And just going to I know we have to go big again. But Muji, for all the things that have happened to it the last couple of years, with them closing stores in the GTA, they opened up one there.
And they have one of those viral cookie, I think it's called Crumble.
Crumble is there.
Crumble or Craig's
Craig's is Canadian. Craig's
but
is
Crumble is
American.
Mm-hmm. My best friend's daughter is into those cookies, and I think she works for one of them. I works for one of those stores.
I think ecosystem is wild. There's a lot of Craig's locations around.
Night Baker.
It's sort of like cupcakes, probably like a decade ago.
Night Baker over Craig's.
Okay,
1,000%.
Night Baker all the way.
And the owners are nicer and not as mean to their employees.
Isabella's over all that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Marry Me Mochi is superior to Isabella's by leaps and bounds.
We have to have it.
When I first had Marry Me Mochi, it's because I never had them fresh, so I didn't have the greatest opinion. And then I finally had them fresh, and I'm like, okay, I get it now.
I was there for both its pop-up at Nations as well as its grand opening of the store, the store below Nations. Mm-hmm. It's the closest thing to Mr. Donut that, because we've had mochi donuts in Toronto for at least 5-10 years at this point. Mm-hmm. They're not great. Or at least not as accurate. They taste fine. They taste like Isabella's fine. When I had it, it was good. But I don't know, Marry Me Mochi has the Japanese recipe a little bit more down, it looks like.
I'm trying to remember. I remember a mochi donut place for a while inside the food hall, the food district inside.
That's
Square
Marry
One.
Me Mochi.
That is a Marry Me Mochi.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Isabella's is not in the West GTA.
I just remember passing by there once, and I thought I saw an employee making out with somebody in there.
I might know who that is, actually.
Well, you know Square One better than I do, so.
No, but it's interesting. We got on this delightful tangent because you asked my thoughts on the previous episodes, and what you were saying about not being interested in the artist alley made me think about AniRevo and your discussion about that, because with you four especially, I think you, James, and Kevin, being interested in that part of the fandom world, and me not wanting anything to do with special guests for the rest of my life, because
but they're special.
They are special, and that's great. I'm sure that there will be some artists or something that I'd be interested in seeing in the future. I still love Shaman King, but I'm very suspicious Hiroyuki Takeas. I think he's too much of a friend with the Kenshin guy. So I'm not willing to put my cards on that side of the table. I've been burned too many times. Poor Neil Gaiman's fans, me included, because Sandman is great. What an awful person. Anyways,
wait, what happened? What did he do?
That's another story. Right?
It's interesting from my perspective of hearing about the more Japanese guests and the shopping type of thing where most of my manga reading now is indie stuff. lesbian experiences with loneliness. Like, that's the kind of manga I've been interested in lately. I don't need to go to a convention for that kind of thing. I can go to the Beguiling or to Type or to not Little Ghost, but like, more indie bookstore.
Indie bookstores.
Yeah, you can go to the independents, like, well, no, what did she change the name to? Because Labyrinth moved to Oakville, and then they closed down their physical store, so now they're only online at cons.
And I did see
Thunderstruck,
yeah.
Just to let you know, Labyrinth was at AniRevo.
Huh? They were, okay. I expected, they only do shows now physically, and they sometimes still go to Sheridan to sell stuff.
That's interesting.
Sometimes they still do.
They were near Sheridan Oakville, remember, for one of their locations at one point before that closed down.
They finally brought out their old stock for last year's AN, and my thoughts on whether they had good stuff was true.
Which is?
Lots of out-of-print stuff.
On that note,
some of them I bought for myself.
Well, what were they pricing them at? That's then the question.
What they were doing was, I think once you bought past a certain threshold, you were getting almost 40% off cover.
It's pretty good. Sounds okay.
Yeah.
On out of print?
Well, just anything. There was just a lot of leftover like
did they
old
know,
stock.
Like maybe the values or like
I think they always had a suspicion that they knew some of their stuff was rare. Because I know, like, they sell on Amazon and stuff. So if they ever happen to unearth something and they find out, then they will charge accordingly. But when you have that much stock, it's you need to really dedicate the time to do the research.
It's like selling Monets for nothing, man.
Like, you need someone to actually be tasked to do just that.
I guarantee there's like a couple people who would be more than willing to split profits on that type of stuff.
Because then you have the Beguiling where they have enough staff where they can do that. Because they are a lot more proactive at that now.
Right.
Sometimes I'm still lucky and can sneak out some stuff.
Well, with the online part of it now too, probably that it kind of makes them want to do it as well.
Like I've like got lucky and bought a couple of out of print stuff before they caught on. But
well, if you want to know one thing that probably will lower in value, supposedly Kodansha announced this week, or Kodansha USA, that Blackjack's coming back in a 1 in 3 deluxe print next year. Or later this year or next year. So.
Put that set up on eBay like this weekend.
Let me go through the calendar. Let's finish up the Toronto calendar, because I think there's a couple of dates and things coming up maybe worth mentioning before we move forward and ask Amy any further thoughts. Since we were on this tangent about stuff going on in Toronto, we just mentioned Anime Revolution. They did officially this week or last week, but they did announce their dates for the 2026 version, and that'll be November 13th to the 15th.
So they're still in November.
So they're still going to do the November date a little bit earlier into November, but we're talking now a mid to late November. At least we're going from one version to another with roughly the same time frame. Because as we've constantly gone on about this, IFF, whether it's IFF, Anime Toronto, and now AniRevo Toronto, it's always happened at a different point in the year. Sometimes during a holiday, Easter, Labor Day. This time around, it's just after Remembrance Day. But at least we're talking a similar time frame, and I guess consistency kind of helps. Does this work? Does this sound like a good date already? Or remember, we are talking also the halfway point to the next Anime North when this happens. So you have like these two shows, Anime North, Anime Revolution, roughly 6 months apart.
I mean, what is it going to conflict with? I don't particularly care about going to the video game con, but I'm sure there is some crossover in that audience.
Yeah, with the Toronto Game Expo. So yeah, if they keep their biannual thing where they do March and then that end of November, maybe they thought, okay, maybe we should be a little earlier and stuff like that, because since they were from Vancouver, they probably didn't expect to have that happening over at the X grounds. And then that obviously would affect the people in Artist Alley too, because it's like, which one do you go to? Like, as I had said, it was interesting to see between the two. It felt more crafty at the one for the Toronto Game Expo at the Better Living Center. Like there was a lot of crochet stuff and things like that. A lot of crochet Pokemon.
Were there any panels of that sort this time around? I know there wasn't 2 years ago. That's when I went.
For the
video game.
Oh, sorry. They have a stage and they kind of have some panels with some of the guests and things like that. But it's only stuff at their main stage and stuff like that. But it's not like dedicated panels. Probably maybe one day they'll get there. But we'll see how they want to grow. But the swap meet is basically their bread and butter because that's how they started. And Barrie still does that for that location. But the one in Toronto, they started with that and they've kind of grown it. So you have the swap meet part, you have the artist alley, you have the indie gamers that come in and stuff like that show off their games. We have Anime North coming in, showing off some of the retro games in a free play area, kind of like what they do at Anime North. They have a main stage where the guests like talk to one of the people running it and some other small little panels or shows and stuff like that with music or game shows.
See, the swap meet just sounds like, I'm not going to say it's a nightmare, but all I can picture are 20-something older men trying to hope to rip off some young kid on their possibly rare game. Like, I never see those ending particularly well.
I'm guessing now it's Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I've seen that scenario on Instagram, but with Pokemon cards. Like, exactly. Except the ones on Instagram are all wholesome, right? Like, they're older guys or teens who are like, here, kid, have this Gengar for free. Or, like, do you like Zapdos, little girl? Here's, like, the $200 Zapdos.
Are you telling me that there are people doing bad stuff on the internet?
And good stuff.
In my mind, the whole Pokemon card scene seems like people doing generous, nice things, and it's all wholesome and wonderful and stuff. Are you telling me that's not happening?
Both are happening.
Keep in mind, we here at sitting here where we are at 6 Points. Emmett's Toy Stop is just over there, and they've had some viral videos of people trying to break into that place.
Oh yeah, I've seen those videos.
So
it's disappointing. Like, honestly, this whole
they by the way, they use a board up now when they close.
They got a whole security system now.
Well, he didn't have much choice.
Well, a lot
especially
of places,
if you want, especially his insurance, right? Like that's what he had to do.
Cost a lot.
And that's happened across like North America and Europe and stuff like that. It's been everywhere, which is crazy.
See, this whole scene.
And last thought, because then I'll move to the last point.
Cool. Yeah, so we largely blame this current run of popularity to the Pocket app. And
wow.
I'm tired of seeing like 30-something to 20-something to 40-something year old guys going up to my other line of work and asking if I have Pokemon cards. And I know, like, out of 50 customers, 48 of them like are in it more for the monetary value. And
is it that lucrative?
Well,
it can be.
It can be, but truth be told, you tend to save a lot of money buying the cards you really want by just buying the cards outright rather than buying packs to open for yourself. So there's
just don't be that guy in the Walmart buying an entire.
So there's the gambling aspect of it. There's also people who do buy sealed product to try and resell, and thankfully right now, for these current sets, they have been printing a lot more. So
to devalue.
So it's not as lucrative to sell them at this moment, which I'm fine with because, you know, I won't lie. Like, if I said I never bought packs to try and get a specific card, I'd be a liar. But because I did it for this most recent set. But I told myself that I'm only going to buy so many packs up until a point where, you know what, I'm going to just buy this card straight up.
Earlier this week, I saw a video by the YouTuber named Zachary Smigel, and the title is The Predatory World of Pokemon Cards. It is a great overview of sort of how we got to this place, and it's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah,
and I think some of them for those packs, they're X-raying some of those packs to see what's in them too. Like, it's like, wow, how did that even...
Every step of the process is corrupt, like from, well, not corrupt, but either mismanaged or corrupt. Like, at originally Pokemon not printing enough to the grading. Like, because in order to get things properly graded, it can cost hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
So you can have a card that is worth between $300 and $3,000. And like, I'm apparently not even exaggerating. So you're gambling. So it's multiple levels of gambling, because buying a blind box or a blind pack is gambling on one hand, and then if you win the gamble, you have to gamble again if you want to make the most money off of it.
Yep.
So you have to sort of know, like, what is this? And apparently the grading is a monopoly now.
Almost monopoly, yes.
Yeah, there's like one main one and like one little one.
PSA is the main one, because they did buy out at least one or two of the other grading companies.
Yeah, it makes me sad, but at the same time, I love some of the art on these Pokemon cards. I wish there wasn't all that text and gameplay information blocking the art. So, like, I buy a fan art of a poster, right? Like, it's, as much as I love some of this art, I'm not the most driven to want to do this for the art purpose, because there's like a 3-inch card. I'll buy a big poster that I can see, or a print.
And so this is why when I wanted to try and chase that SIR Charizard from Phantasmal Flames, I did make the conscious effort of, at least for the first like X amount of packs, I'm gonna actually appreciate the art in these packs. And I finally pulled the Piplup IR. It's so cute.
Nice work.
It was one of
the illustrations are great, and they're getting better. Like, that's one of the problems, is that, like, there is to some degree a legitimate reason for the interest as far as the artwork goes. Like, some of them are amazing.
I mean, hypothetically, couldn't Pokemon, the company, just like mass flood the market and like that's it? That's the end of it?
They're starting to do that. Well, I shouldn't say they're flooding, but they're definitely printing more now for these most recent sets. So that's why it's harder to flip those sets right now. Now, granted, if you're willing to wait 10, 15, 20 years, like, it'll eventually go up. All sets eventually go up in value. It's just whether or not you want to wait the 10, 15, 20 years, or you want the quick flip. And most people want the quick flip.
It's there's your dollar bill, y'all moment, right? Yeah, I get it.
Hey.
So
I have noticed, like, just on that note, I have noticed that, at Walmart or your EB Games, the stock issues are still very apparent. But if you go to, like, a specialty shop, like, again, I have very little interest in cards, but if I go to Banana Games, like, they usually have cards there.
But they're not charging retail.
Never.
Like,
anyway.
a lot of the small independent stores will not charge you retail unless you really do find a good one. Or maybe you do play at their store, so you've built the rapport with the owners or the management, and so you might get an opportunity to buy at MSRP.
Gotta know a guy, right?
Because it's like, at least you're loyal to your customer base at that point, so which I can't blame them.
Yeah.
And obviously, right now with distribution, it's tough because they're getting screwed at the distribution level as well. Like, they have to pay more than wholesale, because now the distributors can do that. So sometimes it's tough for those stores too. I understand.
It looks like it's about double to triple the price. Could be worse, apparently.
We are looking at this in real time.
And even Walmart is not charging retail. They're charging a bit above.
That's in that video I referenced.
Yeah.
They talk about
that. Run off with the skid, sure.
EB Games too.
Okay, hypothetically speaking, my last point, couldn't this all just collapse tomorrow?
I think, well, in theory, it could technically collapse tomorrow.
Like the
but
secret market type situation.
Like, see, this has always ebbed and flowed. Like, throughout this whole time this card game has existed, there have always been peaks and valleys when it comes to
30, like the better part of 25, 30 years now, I think.
This year is the 30th anniversary for the 26. Card game.
96.
Actually, no, I think it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon in general, actually. Never mind. So, people are thinking that there will be hype around 30th anniversary, and then
you think a bubble will burst.
It always deflates. It's just a matter of when.
Okay.
And most people who play the game because remember, this is a trading card game. They're not always as affected because they were going to buy singles anyway.
Yeah.
And the game is very affordable if you want to actually play it, because there are common versions of some of these $300, $200 cards. There's like $2 versions of these cards. So people who play the game will just buy those.
No need to grade.
It's like, yeah.
Anyway, but
So
that's an ongoing.
it'll happen.
Yeah, but that's an ongoing. 30 years. Okay, on the topic of resale, and the last thing to talk about on the Toronto calendar. Kevin, did you get a table at the Nerd Market? Set for February 8th at the Hart House at U of T, put on by the Tabletop Club there.
I did, as did you.
I have the option to buy it. I have until around 24 hours from this moment, I believe, to...
The countdown is on.
Yes, the countdown is on.
Can we add the 24-hour dun dun
Yeah,
dun dun?
I know.
So I need to ask, what made you decide to try and apply for one?
Basically for kicks, yes.
Okay.
Basically for kicks.
Okay.
But, as George Clooney would have said at the beginning of Ocean's 11.
I was surprised you even applied. But
I
now
did.
It makes more sense.
Well, the thing is, we'll see what happens in 23 hours. So I could do this, but then we do then the dive back into the locker happens. And maybe a set of out of print books could end up there. So this is the dilemma I'm facing, and of course, how much time will I have to devote? It's a busy weekend here.
We can go down tonight, Mike.
No, I want some sleep. We are going a bit late.
It is obnoxiously warm today.
Yeah, it was. What we got into nearly the teens 12 here. Degrees. Yeah, 12 degrees Celsius. What's the translation in Fahrenheit?
Learn metric.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll put the horns there.
I won't lie, for you, I understand not always being as motivated to do it because it's a trip down to where you need to go and get them. It's I don't know. I think for me, like, I have easier access to my stuff, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there could be a trip anyway within the next 24 hours. We'll get to that a bit later on. Anyway, Amy, and now I have to put you back on. Before we get to the actual stuff, a few headlines. Anything else that stuck out to you in the Space Heaters over the month?
I think AniRevo was the biggest thing. Your disaster of a opinion on the Anime North Hotel thing really
soured your.
I did not expect to hear that from Mike. I'll be honest.
It clouds all other positive feelings that I might have had about the episodes from the last couple.
You kind of wiped everything out.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm so sorry.
You're still here.
Again, sunk cost fallacy. I live and die by that fallacy, it seems. I have struggled through 2 Switch console launch, headaches, and they pale in comparison to how devastating Anime North's hotel systems are. And the Switch 2 was challenging this past cycle. Still would do that again twice before an Anime North hotel booking.
And that was day 1 as well?
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See, and at least with the Switch 2, you had the option of not needing to go day 1 or 2, whereas
we didn't know that at the time.
And that's the problem. Right? We thought it was...
Yeah, because I didn't know it would be on shelves the days afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. Because the Switch 1, that was not on the shelves the days after. It was so funny because I almost wonder if the great amiibo scarcity of whatever that year was.
The 2010s.
2017? Anyways, I think part of the amiibo scarcity came from that first day because people were buying everything related to Switch. People were buying multiple copies of Breath of the Wild.
What?
They were buying... Breath of the Wild had sold more copies than there were Switches, and that's just the Switch version of Breath of the Wild.
But it already came on the Wii U.
The same day.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, you guys, you gotta catch them all, right?
And like I think part of the like Amiibo launch situation was again this first day like rush of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a bunch of Amiibos, and then
did that die out?
They're still making.
They still make them.
There's that's a thing, right? People collect Amiibos.
I don't know. I don't know if people collect them, but they make them.
It depends. It depends on which ones. Some people go for certain ones, and some of them are more popular than others. It looks like they're. If you want a Street Fighter 6 Amiibo, they're still around, and they put them on sale. I know on Black Friday and Boxing Day.
See, it was harder to get a Switch 2 in the U.S. depending on what city you lived in.
Well, yeah, because
but
Sunshine's Rainbows over there.
But Canada, by and large, didn't have stock issues.
But regarding your question, I'm trying to think back if I can push through the fog. What are some of the topics that you might think that I have thoughts and opinions on?
Wow. Okay, let's go. Let's go through the list.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire of items. Okay, let me just make sure. Well, Kevin's awesome Asian vacation.
That was cool aside from the visa complications.
Awesome
Well, okay, the whole AI dubs thing that.
Oh yeah, that's nonsense.
Yeah, that's still a load to this moment.
So I mean, like as an artist, I'm very firmly against generative AI. So like, I'm a visual art and drama teacher, so, I supported my various students' protests against the use of AI in various circumstances. I think AI in general has great medical possibilities, and like I'd love it to be able to do my laundry and do my dishes, but I think it's messed up that it's doing graphic design and artwork and acting. That's nonsense. I will say for work, I had to experiment with AI once, and I think it's called Notebook. And one of the functions of this is that you can plug in text and it creates a podcast. And it is a frighteningly natural podcast. Like I plugged in the most dry PDF on hermit crab care, and these two hosts were like, let's have a fun discussion about these fun crustacean pals.
That sounds like...
And it's like, oh no. And my colleagues were terrified because like I knew what was going to happen. I'd never actually encountered this technology before, but I'm not self-aware. I'm not a robot. I'm aware enough to understand how far technology's come. So I knew what was coming. So like, I plugged in this PDF. 7 minutes later, I had a 17-minute long podcast that for the most part sounded natural.
That sounds like when Mo tried to plug in Anime Roundtable into an AI, and we ended up with like a 5-minute praise for the show.
There were some like, it's not perfect. It is so close to perfect, right? Like, I think one of the things is that, hermit crabs don't need live food. The podcast would say, hermit crabs don't need live food. So, there's certain things that, that's such a simple fix. Like, they'll be able to correct that in, like, days if they haven't yet.
That's sort of what a little bit of what we talked about in the whole AI dub thing. Yeah, it messes up. It could learn. Don't give it that chance.
Yeah, but like that's the scary thing about generative AI in general, right? Because and I think we should give up on it for creative pursuits, but if one company doesn't, another company will. If one person doesn't, another person will.
Sort of like, so kind of like cloning when we had those discussions
except
a decade ago.
According to, we probably don't have a human clone. Except, we'll see what's happening in China. But like, I know, like, we have the technology to make a human clone. Why don't we? It's the same reason why there aren't like 10 million car accidents.
I think there's a show about that.
Day.
Something about alchemy and some brothers.
I thought you were talking about Pluribus or something.
No, we don't mention that show.
You don't like it?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. It's scary, I guess, is the main thing. Like, I don't think this technology should take jobs, even if it can.
I come back to that Conan line. and I constantly harp it. It's technology, maybe social media being part of it, because this is the context by which Conan said it when talking to Hillary Clinton. I keep saying this. It's outpaced human evolution in many ways. We are at a point we don't know what to do with it, even though like it's so advanced, whatever form we talk about, whether it's social media, whether it's the internet, whether it's AI, cloning, whatever. We as humans are still trying to wrap our head around it and exactly what to do with it. So the idea, that's outpaced. Hence the idea it's outpaced human evolution.
In what way, though? Like, I don't think generative AI has outpaced human evolution in creativity or, to be sappy, things like love or affection or meaningful discussions. Like, this podcast is more meaningful, like all the little errors, the horrible mishap with the water, that's not going to happen with a generative AI script. Like,
could we get there?
Maybe.
I think that's the outline of the concern.
It depends on how many little mishaps have to happen in live podcast recordings that get fed into the AI, soup that it gets regurgitated, and how fast until it makes sense. Like, maybe next year it will be able to do that, but it shouldn't.
I think that we're gonna see an outburst of creativity of people trying to evolve beyond the slop, because the slop's just gonna get better, guys. It's gonna happen. They're gonna fix the minor inconveniences or typos or whatever, and we're gonna get on-demand slop that looks and tastes like regular food. But every so often, someone's gonna go out there and make something super creative and original and mind-blowing, and we'll be like, yes, AI exists and it sucks and it destroyed so much. But every once in a while, William Shakespeare will appear and bless us with some awesomeness,
The problem with that is, and I saw a short form video about this, and I don't remember the video creator or anything like that. I apologize. It's the nature of this type of media. But it's someone going up to a ticket seller at a movie theater, and the cashier, the ticket seller guy goes, "Oh, would you like to see an organic or a regular movie?"
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, what's the difference?" It's like, "Well, an organic movie is one made by human beings, and a regular movie is one made by AI slop." And the guy goes, "Oh, organic movie, definitely." And the guy goes, "Okay, that'll be $1,000." And I'm a little bit worried that's where we're headed, right? Like, if I want a human dub of an anime, that will cost, so many hundreds of dollars, versus, a company like AI, you can do it for free. Why wouldn't they just use Google to translate?
The sad part is, considering the demographic of our fandom, I think we're having a version of that discussion.
Except
right now.
I work with teenagers. They hate AI. At least the artistic ones. I'm not actually sure about the non-artistic ones. They probably love it.
Yeah,
I have students who want to use AI for everything. So yeah, it's going to be both.
It's just that's the dilemma I could foresee. Like, okay, this will come at there could be a monetary cost to keep it that way. How much are we willing to
spend? Yeah.
Right.
And
I mean, as Amazon has said, maybe they're not willing to spend much.
And we're living in either the midst or the cusp of another piracy golden age, right?
Wave those flags, guys.
Because things are consolidating again. The $7 subscriptions are becoming $50 subscriptions.
Segue.
So people are like, streaming piracy is plentiful and easí.
Yeah, shout out that one website,
Yeah.
The one that changes its dot, IT to a .lk to a dot.
Let's talk about one of the latest tipping point then. Now that we, as I said, perfect segue. So let's get down to some of the updates and talk about where the latest developments in possible consolidations. Yeah, okay, so there has been an official development in the attempted sale of Warner Brothers Discovery. And it probably didn't come as any shock that the WBD board has rejected the hostile takeover bid presented by Paramount Plus, and just citing the assurances and stuff. They still think, despite the slightly lower offer that Netflix has provided, they find it more stable. That's, I guess, the TLDR version of it.
I think they just saw what's happening over there at Paramount with CBS and so forth, and were like, I don't know if they're going to last a year or two, guys. I mean, they're like crashing really hard over there.
Well, that's part of the certainties, right? Yeah. So when we've brought this up a couple of times with James, well, James has yet to actually really talk about it, because the last few times that we did Space Heaters was with Mo and Kevin, and with Mo the story was just breaking that day. And then Kevin gave a quick thought. This is the first time we've had Amy and James on since the news broke. And what we haven't really explored since talking about this is the anime aspect, because there is actually an anime. Like, we wondered about it, and then as we start to dig a little bit more, yeah, there is an anime aspect to all of this. And some of it's some say it could be a headache for Crunchyroll, because there's some IPs and titles within all of that Crunchyroll does have rights to, that could be taken away and end up more on the Netflix side. It's also worth noting, remember, Netflix holds the worldwide streaming rights to most Studio Ghibli stuff, except in the US. That presently belongs to Warner Brothers through HBO Max. So that could conceivably consolidate that. And of course, we've mentioned Warner Brothers Japan does sit on production committees. I think JoJo's is most notable amongst them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Ghibli.
I don't know about do they sit on Ghibli production committees?
HBO has Ghibli.
We just mentioned that part of the story. But is there any other IPs that we haven't brought up yet that could be that will be in the line here, right?
Not that I recall.
Okay, but JoJo
I think JoJo's is the biggest one.
JoJo's the biggest.
And Netflix has gotten, I think, was it one of the JoJo's, the last one, I feel like.
And this could be...
It had part 6.
It had Stone Ocean, yeah.
Stone Ocean was the last one I remember. And I'm not sure if the next one...
Was not happy that it went to Netflix, because then it couldn't get hyped like all the others were, because you couldn't talk about it week to week like the others.
As in what? It was...
It's dumped out, right?
It was with no fanfare.
Yeah.
Like I don't read the manga. I got into JoJo relatively late because the first season does not hook you in. But like I loved 4. I was watching. I binged 4 and 5 pretty much. I was excited for 6. Female protagonist, interesting stands, interesting setting. I watched that first season. I'm like, yeah, this is good. And then the second season came out and I didn't notice. And then I watched a couple episodes and then I got distracted by other things. And I feel bad because I would like to see the rest of it. It was fun, but it just sapped my energy and my interest.
They had to do it to the women's season. And it's a very like part 6 doesn't get enough love. Even back then it didn't seem like it got enough love. And then now that there was finally a chance for it to get the love and appreciation it deserves, it didn't happen.
And it could get further buried, I guess, in many respects. Is that where we are in terms of what this deal?
I think there's a risk there, regardless. It's a pessimistic view of this whole thing, but yes,
JoJo's and Netflix.
No, Netflix in general, and all of this rights thing. Yes, this could be a rights nightmare for Crunchyroll and Netflix, but there are always rights nightmares when contracts expire and things happen like this. It might accelerate some things, but all of these are streaming services. It's not like all of these shows are guaranteed to be hosted online forever anyways, right?
Sure, there'll be write-downs.
It's just going to, again, it could speed up some of the tragic losses of media, but I don't think it's going to eliminate the possibility of things being lost.
I don't know. It's just I'm just still wrapping my head on the whole anime side.
It's because it's proven that if you watch it week by week, you just generate more buzz throughout the lifetime.
Yeah, I've always talked about. Yeah, we've always talked about.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Like we've had these conversations about the binge versus the week to week, right? And I mean, I can only speak for in this case, I can speak for myself. Remember, my watching habits would be watching a core basically as it's completed. Because maybe I'm not into doing things week to week, or maybe I'm just aware of having a few choices.
Just don't do it for new shows. That's it.
Or wait till a lot of it's out. I mean, this is the story of my watching Fragrant Flower, right? Most of the season was already out by the time I started watching it.
Because it's not as if shows haven't become successful over time by having just up. Like, honestly, most people wouldn't know what the hell Psyche K is if it wasn't up on Netflix. Or Baki.
I would argue that a lot of people don't know what Psyche K is. Like, I have students who did, and they still do, but I don't think it reached the audience it could have if it released in a different era. Better
than if it was like 15 years ago when it wouldn't have been up at all, and then almost nobody would have.
It might not have even been made 15 years.
Well, it wouldn't have just been like somebody would have. I don't know. Who knows, right? But it's just interesting to see like people actually. I've had people talk about it. Gintama was the same, where you have a lot of people. I'm seeing more people like watch Gintama and they're loving it.
Well, isn't it doing that weird like thing that like Detective Conan is doing, where it's like, here's some dub episodes. Don't worry about what number the episode is. Have fun.
I wouldn't know, actually.
Because, like, I know Detective Conan is doing that, which is hilarious. Like, I have a friend who's into Detective Conan, and I expressed mild interest, so, of course, she explains the complex patterns and sources that I can do if I wanted to watch the dub, because, you know, she knows I like English dubs.
It has not all been dubbed because of its history.
It's like, oh, episodes 1 to 60 were dubbed, and then episode 83 was dubbed, and then episode 98 to like 200 were dubbed in this thing, and they just released episode 300. It's like, what is going on? It's funny.
Yeah, it's like
it kind of makes me interested in, but kind of in a car crash, like morbid curiosity kind of way. It's like
NASCAR.
It's like, I can watch a new dub that just randomly starts with episode 127. Is there a recap? Who knows? But you know, it's not like this kid's gonna grow up, so I don't know if it's the biggest deal.
It's too much of a national treasure in Japan now. Like I think it dies when Gosho Aoyama dies at this point, or it might even become like Goku and just keep on going. But I know even back when it was being fan subbed, like this was the case too, where not everything was being fan subbed and different pockets of episodes were being fan subbed. I know now with the newest episodes, if I'm not mistaken, TMS from Japan, who like basically controls the Conan anime, they do pay for that to be like subtitled in English now and everything.
Oh, interesting.
So the latest ones are being officially translated, but
yeah, I know that the Kamen Rider people are trying to do that a little bit too, with like more, because they notice that interest of the American fans. So like, we should probably capitalize on this at least a little bit, which is a great change from, you know, Japan, especially live action Japan TV's previous, you know, views of this kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, we can do this.
Same with the manga, because now the latest chapters of Detective Conan are available on the Viz app for you to read. So if you can read the latest 3 chapters for free.
Well, that's what I'm doing with Blue Box. Anyway,
with the like the binge topic though, it's like in general I agree that, like, you know, dumping all the episodes is not the most ideal thing to do for a series with a lot of episodes. But at the same time, there's a lot of early reviews of the latest Star Trek series that is coming. No, the one that's coming out in a few weeks, Starfleet Academy. And
don't you hate that?
Every review, it hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
Every review that I've heard says it's okay until episode 4. And then it's like one of the best episodes of Star Trek they've ever made. Oh. And that makes me think, like, if a series is like that finds its footing and finds an amazing episode later on, would that be an argument for dropping all 8 episodes at once, where the reviews can say, I mean, maybe having all these screeners is a way to compromise this and say, like, oh, the reviews will tell you stay into it or stay watching it until episode 4. But alternatively, if you released all of them, people might watch all the way until episode 4 and be like, oh yeah, it's great. And, you know, spread the word that way, where they wouldn't
Isn't that
spread
the
the
dilemma,
word.
though?
Yeah.
It's
pros and cons.
That's the thing. Like, I grew up in a time where, you know, in broadcast television, most laughing.
No, I was gonna say an old joke, and I'm like, that's not nice.
Well, I could remember this. No, but I can remember this. Yeah. There's like on broadcast television.
I remember those days too.
Yeah, you would have like NBC was known to NBC. All the major networks in their day, they would be so quick with the axe. Sometimes with the cancel.
The cancellation.
The cancellation.
Oh, well, yeah. Netflix does that. I mean, everyone does that.
Well, everyone does that, but you gotta. To be fair to Netflix, you at least get a significant amount already. Maybe an entire season. They just decide not to do another season, so you will get your half dozen, I guess.
That's done intentionally because I thought it was after a certain amount of episodes, like the pay goes up for the actors or something.
It could be whatever the reasons are.
Yeah,
it's just the cancellation could happen sometimes within. You barely there was this at its peak.
One and dones.
You had a lot of 1-2s and dones, right? And you never got the chance to see the series get to its 4th episode, maybe where it really takes off.
I remember NBC specifically had a run of that. There was a show called Black Donnellys. 2 episodes in, 3 episodes in, 4th episode in. I'm sorry, guys, we're done. No more episodes. And there's like 13 episodes that have already been.
At least this time around, the cup is empty. Way to go, Mo.
I was very excited.
Way to go.
You know, when you first spilled that cup, a part of me thought, will this just be the first in a series of cups spilling on the floor?
I say take a shot. You willed it into existence.
I suddenly willed this into existence.
I would have said take a shot, but the glass probably was already empty.
So the one cup to get.
Yeah. Well, really, what we're doing here is learning about engineering. Like, look at the design of this cup and how difficult it would be to knock over compared to this.
It's just so tall,
right? Like,
know?
Yeah, the height plus the balance, like the weight,
plus its bottom. Like this is
the center of gravity of this mug. This is much harder to tip.
Well, see,
this one is also like it's a straight.
But
cylinder.
They're both. But we're talking about two Starbucks cups sitting here.
Thank you for joining us for Mug Talk.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, it just lets me appreciate. This is Cabbage Patch Kids, right?
No,
that is strawberry shortcake.
Oh, my mistake.
Strawberry shortcake.
It just makes me appreciate that you're using this like tablecloth.
Well, it's not. It's a blanket. It's an old blanket. But,
okay.
But yeah, this has always been the gag we've had over 20 years, right? That we use these blankets as tablecloths.
And Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
The one with the puppets.
Yeah.
So basically, with the whole binge thing, like I think 4 episodes is fine at once. Like because Netflix has played around with this for a while with different shows. Just don't give me the whole show at once.
Other networks have done that too. Like I like the release 2 episodes and then week to week because it at least gives you a chance to like, oh, here's where they're going.
There's a marketing. Yeah, there's a marketing. There's a marketing. Yeah. Like I think that was also a marketing ploy with Prime.
I was going to say it's hit or it. Honestly, it should be based on the show and whatever they think is best for whatever. Like you shouldn't be pigeonholed to like doing week to week or binging. Your option shouldn't be A or B. It should be flexible.
Yeah.
Well, the thing and the streaming medium allows for that a lot more than broadcast does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had you had Prime, you had Amazon Prime, and sometimes when advertising a new show, they would say first 3 episodes up now, week 2, and then new episodes weekly. But the first 3 episodes up now. And that was actually a marketing ploy. To some degree, you had that in broadcast. First two episodes were debut with back-to-back episodes, and they made that event television. So in many respects, you did see the concept probably get even more further standardized. Could conceivably be further standardized in the streaming. Still trying to figure out their way. Sorry, Mo.
No, it's good. I have nothing to say.
So, yeah, that's part of the dilemma, isn't it?
I guess sort of connected to the HBO Warner Brothers of it all, like, and the, fear of the binging model becoming ubiquitous. I adored watching Fiona and Cake week to week. I know it's American animation, and this is an anime apartment, condo, whatever. But
help me out for another segue here.
But with Fiona and Cake, like, I was so engaged with the week to week episode releases. Like, I love checking Blue Sky and Tumblr to see what people were going to say about the episode that maybe I haven't. Hopefully not that I haven't watched yet, but even the episode previews, like, oh, look what's coming tonight. Like, I'm excited. Like, talking about, oh, what's next? Is there going to be a 3rd season? Probably not. But, it makes me so excited for, I'm happy they're doing this kind of weird adult-ish animation that's based off kids animation to some degree. Like, it's a great show.
Well, I don't know what else to add now, because is there anything else to, is there any, what is there to add to the whole, Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount story?
Seems evil.
Yeah. They seem eager, and they hold Star Trek just for reference.
That's what I'm sad and scared about.
Right? They're going to spin it off as a nonprofit.
So it's really a matter of, do you want movies as we know it to possibly end, or do you want your right-wing government to use it as their propaganda channel?
I mean, I'd rather have the first one.
Yeah, I would grudgingly take the first one.
I think most people would. It's kind of like, would you like your arm cut off your head? Well, it's like, I guess the arm.
So we are once again, we are at a lesser of two evils scenario here, right?
Because the I think what I recall the talk was that if Netflix buys it, like, the exclusive window at theaters becomes a lot shorter.
I mean, it already was short.
But so it'd be even worse.
I mean, like I said, nothing's happened yet. It'll be another year or two before anything does happen.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. This is far from over.
Don't worry, guys. We still have a couple of dozen more Infinity Castles to watch, so don't worry about it.
No, 2.
17, bro. Come on.
They're making me wait 3 weeks to watch Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and now I guess it could be more.
I guess the more likely scenario when you're saying shorter window is they won't even give you digital to own, or it's not even digital to own, it's digital to rental. They take it away from you. But they would just say, we're just going to do it to streaming and that's it. So it's even worse.
There's the death do you part scenario, right? That's, I think I know there's a TED Talk about ebooks these days, but for that reason, I have to find that. I actually want to watch that.
What's going on in that space?
What's there to add? What's really there to add? That's a longer story, and maybe one for another day. We have the 20th year to do this.
Well, that's what the library is for.
Yeah, that's what the library. Yeah, well. And there's a bunch of library books here, and they're all manga, and a lot of them's manga too.
I'm happy you're using the library more often.
Well, and I'm still a proponent. And what do you want to look at?
The reader.
Oh, this.
No, the reader. Is that you?
No, this is my kid. This is my iPad.
Oh, I see.
It's just a weird. It's just a weird case on it.
Oh, I thought it was your other.
It's this one. It's
this one. Because have we now tied the mic since you have like another Apple product there?
No, we won't go there.
Okay.
But the other story this week, in the last week, that a couple weeks that have caught our attention, Christmas Day.
What happened Christmas Day?
Well, Hideaki Anno.
Santa. Oh, I was going to say Santa came, didn't he?
Santa came. Yes, probably. And
did he say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays?
I'm sure he did, James.
Or Santa got run over by, right?
If you watch the Horse Girl anime, then you may know what I speak of.
Mm-hmm. Don't buy anything for me, please.
It's interesting how it took a mobile game for that franchise to finally hit it big in the West.
Musume had to pop off in that.
So at my other place of work, we had loads of Musume figures, and they, for the most part, did not sell because the anime had been years ago at that point, and it wasn't that popular, relatively speaking.
Did you buy them all?
No, I'm not into the Musume.
Are you saying that once the game popped off, they started to disappear?
They disappeared essentially within maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
So what you're saying is all Funko Pop has to do to get out of their stink and out of their terrible rut they're in, and all those ones that are just on every gaming store shelves and all those other places is just do a mobile gacha game is what you're saying.
A good one.
All right. Do we want to tackle Hideaki Anno's comments?
Wait, what did he do? Oh, is this the whole with like...
Japan. I'm sorry, but the audience will have to be the one to adapt. That's the headline we got.
Adapt to what? Okay,
to their values and stuff like that. And we've seen that from other creators. like Anno probably makes sense.
To their value. What does this imply? Because I didn't read that article. I saw it, but didn't read it.
Do you want to go? Do you want to do the summary of this one?
You can do the summary, but some of the Cole's Note version is basically what we've talked about before, where it's like, at what point do you dilute the product as you bring it across the world and stuff like that? And the Japanese-ness, the uniqueness, the cultural uniqueness from Japan loses its value and stuff like that. And then it's like different creators have different things. Like Anno was talking this one. I know the creator of Jobless Reincarnation has talked about this a lot and stuff like that, about him not wanting to censor and stuff like that, and wanting to have his creative freedom to basically bring out his product and stuff like that. And he's had to fight that through some of his localizations.
Are people against this?
Well, that's maybe what I'm wondering, how people really feel about this.
Anno's
It was in the context of what changes the industry will face as the anime manga industry, I guess the mixed media industry will face as it goes further overseas, and how it'll impact the way Japanese content is made and distributed. And Anno in that sense just said, I personally never made anything with the overseas audience in mind. And this is a translated quote. I can only make domestic stuff.
Makes sense.
Production companies are quick to say, think about the overseas market, but personally, that's not my goal. My stance is simply, and I'm continuing the quote here, it first needs to be a work that is well received and found interesting in Japan, but if by any chance people overseas also found it interesting, I'd be grateful for that.
Are we not?
He wasn't considering the overseas market at all. Apparently, he decided to, and then when it came to the Evo movies, he decided to produce them independently, taking full responsibility, right? Works that are made through a Japanese thought process can only be understood in Japanese. Film has both visual and sound elements, so compared to other forms of storytelling, the language barrier is not that. However, lines in the script are still in Japanese, and the drama is achieved through the thoughts and feelings of the characters' experience in Japanese. And he just concludes basically by saying, I'm sorry, but the audience will have to be the one to adapt.
It's a really big show.
So, film, and it's worth keeping in mind, film is a one-way road. That's why the audience has to trust the creators in what is interesting. And that's why I think it's completely fine to keep the production domestic. Even Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki stick to domestic production, and I'm sure they don't even think about the overseas market. Overseas promotion can come later. That's not, and this is now quoting from the article by Automation. But one last quote. We should let the business people turn our works into products and sell them. That's the best course of action, he says. but we're just kind of bad. But part of why Japanese works haven't been able to make it into the West until now is because we're bad at selling them. I think these set of quotes kind of encapsulate a lot of our discussions since the pandemic.
When did he make this quote? 1996?
That's the thing. This is like, I guess this is
like,
the
what
latest
does he mean? Like,
salvo.
oh yeah, we in Japan, we haven't had any success in the West until now. What? Does he not know? Someone should take him to like an anime convention. He's gonna be very happy.
But he eventually did go to those anime
He
cons.
did come to
T-Con.
I'm being facetious here. Like, I mean, first of all, if everything seems fine, what he's saying, right? And I think that like a lot of this, it goes into almost philosophical discussions. It goes to the sub versus dub debate. It goes to, the
localization debate and stuff
do you
like that.
change things? Like, does it create Samurai Pizza Cats? It's a different thing in the West. The same thing as whatever
Ghost
that
Stories.
goes. Yeah,
It
Ghost
was
Stories,
another one, yes.
Sergeant Frog, like all of the it happens. English, like even if we go into like the children's series, like Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Card Captors.
Go with the Digimon thing you just mentioned.
Oh
earlier.
yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Like years ago, I was at Anime North and I saw a panel by, I think one of the directors of the English dub of Digimon. So the Fox Kids Saban dub, and something he said is that there was a scene in Digimon where the Digidestined and their Digimon are walking through a tunnel. And in the Japanese version, there was no dialogue. But he knew that for the American dub, or for the English dub, he would need to add dialogue in that scene. Because, attention spans are so important. And, they would have, kids would change the channel, is his argument. And that is true. Would Digimon have been as popular if they kept the Japanese script exactly? And then you can extrapolate this. Would Digimon have persisted if it didn't have the influx of the overseas money? Would Pokemon have continued if it didn't become a worldwide phenomenon, right? Arguably, yes, Dragon Quest did, but would Pokemon have? Maybe not. There's other series like Zelda and Metroid in the video game realm that aren't popular in Japan, but they're Japanese games. They're made in Japan for the most part, not so much Metroid anymore, but Zelda is. Zelda's popular in Japan, but it's nowhere near as popular as in North America.
My take, I guess, I think Anno is giving too little credit to the overseas market then.
Maybe.
I think they've adapted.
But I think from his, earlier in our pre-show discussion,
before the others wandered in, right?
I compared, Anno to an auteur, and in this case, Akamatsu, to a politician. I mean, he literally is
a politician. And just to update the other three and to the
audience,
whatever audience is out there.
Is he prime minister?
No, that one's dating Katy Perry. Look, remember, you can contrast Anno's comments to what Akamatsu has been known to historically say, especially more than 25 years ago, roughly 25 years ago, when as Love Hina gained its popularity and Akamatsu became aware of it for the first time when he went overseas and met his fans. And he just said something, and to paraphrase, I guess, he just said he will make continue his works aware of that overseas audience, right? A very politician thing to say.
Yeah.
Certainly very a PR thing, and I guess a politician.
Every artist is going to be different, and that's fine, and that's great, right? We can have some people who say, I don't want to think about what Germany or the US or China thinks about my work. And then you can have artists or writers who say, you know what, I'd like to make an internationally appealing story and I'd like it to impact as many people around the world as possible. Mm-hmm. Or you could have people in the middle like, I think that's probably where, I mean, I could be wrong, but if you look at something like My Hero Academia or To Be Hero X, which are using American superhero tropes, like, are they doing that purely from a Chinese or Japanese perspective? Or are they saying, like, oh, I'm going to use these American superhero tropes as well as East Asian tropes and combine them in different ways. And it would be great if it was popular in both, in different markets. Or it could just be, I'm a fan of overseas work. I'm going to integrate it. Like, I think Kevin was mentioning that about Chainsaw Man in the Space Heater, where the author of that is a fan of American cinema, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if I look at Toby Fox with Deltarune, he's creating a Japanese RPG sort of that also has sort of Toho aspects. Like, there's a lot of Japanese elements in Undertale and Deltarune. And that probably helped his works become popular in Japan. But I don't know if Toby Fox was saying, gosh, I really hope this game I'm making is going to be popular in Japan. I think it's a great bonus, and I'm sure he's thrilled about that, and maybe it impacted Deltarune in comparison to Undertale. But, I don't think he's making it for a Japanese audience. He's still inspired by the Japanese games that inspired him, so it becomes, I guess, an Ouroboros type of thing, or a chicken and the egg situation, which is cool. I love cultural exchange. Sure. This is amazing.
And I think he's also giving might be giving less credit as to how Japanese have been influenced, how creatives have been influenced by the outside world, right? Spy Family, very European setting.
Yeah, to the point where even
Be the Beginnings, very European setting.
Spy Family has English text, right? Like, even in the Japanese version.
So, yeah, I mean, it comes back down to how Japanese are we talking here, right?
And you don't want to get too Japanese, Attack on Titan author.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's,
maybe sometimes war is bad.
Right? He's not,
sir?
Anno's not wrong, but for some reason I just found the quote a little bit problematic, but then again, that's the artist.
But it also is, it's more problematic when you cut off the quote, right? Like, the quote that you initially shared with us, it was like, yikes. But and then you finish the sentence. Once again,
it's plain truthiness.
Yeah, you finish the sentence and it's like, oh, actually, he's probably fine.
It's just very thought provoking, and I guess I just am in agreement with the idea. It's just a philosophical approach, and I guess it's also a reflection of the whole, like, the constant dilemma with anything we talk about, where art meets business, and sometimes that does not meld.
I think another thing with that is that if you look at Japanese movies, especially contemporary Japanese movies, they haven't had a Western audience in a long time, right? And like with Anno, a lot of his works are live-action Japanese movies. And there was a huge gap between Kurosawa and any live-action Japanese movie making any splash in North America, right?
Their stars might have.
You can argue,
You're
like,
right.
you know, the Godzillas, but even those are the Speed Racer style dubs, right? Like, they're not one-to-one adaptations. If you look at things like The Ring, right? Like, instead of having that movie, let's make an American version of it. So we're in a very, and it's, I would even say even currently, Japanese movies are not popular in North America. Korean movies are getting there. Japanese movies aren't.
There is a bit of a debate about how Korea did, but that's, I guess, another story altogether.
They at least had a few hits, right?
And an Academy Award winner on top of
exactly,
all that.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, Korea has had a few mega hits. Japan, outside of anime, like, let's just talk about live action movies for a second here. Japan hasn't had a Western hit. I know K-pop Demon Hunters is animated, so that's a
very and coming back to the influences, right? And once again, talking about many of the things we've talked about since the pandemic series. Fuji TV. Remember, they made that agreement with Netflix to co-produce and then stream a handful of the library. And you've seen a good chunk of the back library, assuming Fuji doesn't trip over itself with another sexual assault scandal. Right?
Were they a part of Japan Sinks, or was that someone else?
I forget off the top of my head, right? And yeah, that's also a fair question. But having said all of this, this is probably that last quote in the article, basically saying, well, we should let the business people turn our works and sell them. It's just that we're just bad at selling them. And once again, maybe the other issue with the promotion of Japanese works.
Would there be an audience?
Well, it's selling them to that audience. I think a lot of us have adapted. I think a lot of that potential has adapted.
But again, we're not just talking anime here.
I know.
I think that anime has and I hate using anime in this broad sense because it is, it's a medium, not a genre, right? This is the most, anime discussion 101 kind of stuff. But, almost because of that and, in spite of it, both of them, anime has been able to flourish and foster. I don't think Kikujiro is going to, wow audiences the same way as Demon Hunter Train, whatever the was called, right? Yeah. Mugen Train, whatever, you know what I mean.
Demon Slayer,
Mugen Train, right?
or Infinity Castle.
Yeah, it's not going to do that, and I think that's just cultural.
This is the interesting part, and maybe why I'm so glad you mentioned Kikujiro because I've watched that movie, right?
That's delightful.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's you get to see Beat Takeshi's softer side on that topic, the Yakuza master, and he was in the Yakuza, and he was in the Like a Dragon series. He was in I believe Song of Life #6.
But again, I don't think Kikujiro would do well outside of the film fan scene.
Yeah,
right? It's not going to go mainstream.
Could it be the marketing? Yeah, I don't know. It's a fair question. I mean, remember when we during the pandemic, the Japan Foundation did an online movie festival, and they still kind of have. There's still remnants of that if you dig hard enough through Japan Foundation's website, wherever you are in the world. Because location matters in this case. I think we're kind of limited here in Canada because of the impact of the Japanese Film Festival that happens here in Toronto. There's a lot, there was a handful of movies during that festival I really enjoyed and want to see again. And there's no way to see it. There's no digital down. There's no way to even get them digitally, right? Little Sights, Little Love. That's one of the movies that was shown. It was also the mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream movie debut of Kahu Shibuya, the streamer and the former AV star, who was just starting to come out. Was starting to leave that industry. She made a cameo. She made a cameo in this movie. That was a fun movie to watch. That was a really heartwarming movie to watch. And
I do get ads on Instagram. Katsura Sunshine tries to sell me on this Japanese movie TV program that you can subscribe to. I'm wondering, and he mentions that, and Katsura Sunshine is a Japanese, or it's a Canadian comedian in Japan.
and he a classically trained rakugo comedian. Who does it in English? Who can do it? But I think he does it in both languages.
Yeah,
he does it in Japanese too, right? But
he can do it in Japanese.
But he's done. But but that's what's notable about it.
So whatever, and love his work, but he didn't do a great job with name recognition. I don't remember the service he was peddling, but he mentions in that the sort of little sketch ad that he does that there are Japanese movies. So I'm wondering if some of them are there. And I'm wondering also, are they subtitled there? It might just, it's weird that he'd have an English language ad for something that isn't subtitled, but it's still possible.
You know what the irony in all of this is? Like an irony that just dawned upon me? Rakuten has the Viki service. And that's a predominantly Korean drama streaming site. And it's Rakuten. I mean, they own Kobo on top of all of this too, right? We're going to talk about ebooks in a bit. Like, this is one of those, we're bad at selling them lines. Because sometimes you can see the structure there. What gives then? Right? So that's what's making that whole thing disappointing. And you're right, there is a difference between, I suppose they're not knowing other languages as well as you guys. And it's just, I get the idea that the dialogue we hear inside an anime in Japanese is different from when we would hear it in a live action, whether it's TV or movies. It's just, I always think about Anime North's other goals, which was always they took pride in being able to mention the Japanese in Japanese anime. Right? That was the crux of the story I told. I've told for a couple different times, which nobody has seen, by the way.
I've seen like 30% of it.
Yeah, you saw a bit, yeah. but that's the story, and
I mean, I love you, Mike, but I'm not waking up at 10 a.m. to go see that.
Well, that was the first time I presented that story, right? At the 2020, at the return version, but last year. And
what time was it last year again?
It was into the afternoon. I know that much.
What time though?
I think it was like 3-4 o'clock or something.
Was it Saturday or Sunday?
It was a Saturday.
What was going on Saturday?
Everything.
Saturday. Yeah. No, and Anime Norm, Eileen, if you're listening, I hope to present it one more time next year as part of the 30th anniversary. I know Anime North is billing this year's edition as the 30th edition. 30th, but it did start in 1997. So I would like to think maybe retelling the story one more time.
Yeah.
About retelling the first contact story between Anime North and the Japanese consulate one more time next year would be probably the most appropriate time to retell it one more time. And that was a redundant sentence. So and the thing is, how do I put this? I think I've grown old enough to know I don't know anything about Japan through nearly as much as about Japan through anime. You know a little bit, but I don't come away thinking I know nearly as much as I should through watching all that. And I'd like to think I've added to it a little bit with the other stuff that I've watched. But it's not nearly enough too. And I just like to wonder how much our fandom does care about the Japanese and Japanese anime. And this is to suggest, because there is probably an argument to be made, maybe not much, which is the part of the story that sort of disappoints me. Right? We get when... And whose fault is that? Is there a fault, if there is any, to be given? Yeah, I know. We're kind of that. Maybe that's just not something that can easily be answered in a couple words. But think about it. Korea has done a pretty good job.
Because I do feel like with the whole K-pop boom, it flowed into their other media. That's why you have
BTS.
Well,
yes, you have BTS. Like you have more people like watching Korean dramas now, like the fan base was always there, but you have more and more of these shows now available on legal streaming platforms. And it took a lot longer for Japan to follow suit in terms of the shows and the movies.
Yeah, but you make it sound like they've been, like there's been nearly as successful. I guess there's headway, right? But this is like, I mean, this is at the crux, and maybe this is where I start to find some of what Anno said a little problematic, right? I think there is some willingness, like the willingness is there, by and large, or by a lot of fandom there to adapt. Yeah. It's just, I think we one bad apple, right?
I mean, it's fine to, enjoy it as how they want it to be. That's why we watch this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or you maybe can't enjoy it and you can enjoy something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no. Mm-hmm. It's and let's be honest. Maybe the stuff, a lot of the themes that we watch in these works, a lot of it's universal anyway. A lot. Okay, maybe the stuff I read, but there's a lot of themes that are universal and that just cross barriers. Cross-cultural barriers and language barriers. Once again, coming back down to that paraphrase I love to use with Maya Angelou. It's not what you say.
It's how you say it.
It's more what you make them feel.
Yeah, even better.
Right? I've always said that's the one-to-one you want to look for. Anyway. But it's still an interesting quote. Another take on that whole kicking and screaming theme we love to harp on. Can't wait for the next creative to want to waddle into this debate, and then we'll parse that.
I mean, we got that Godzilla movie coming out this year, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah. But there you go. I don't know what else to. But that's okay. About a good hour 40 now into our conversation tonight. I think we've said a lot already, at least in terms of the headlines. And I know there's other stuff to talk about. Toho. I know Toho buying Anime Unlimited in Europe.
Anime Limited.
Anime Limited there.
But yeah, they wanted basically G-Kids is the North American, like they said they wanted to expand, so is their North American branch, and now I think they said a lot of Europe in that. They would have went continental Europe, but they decided to buy Anime Limited.
Yeah, that's
Anime Limited.
I mean, why pay to set it up when it's already set up for you?
Yeah, that's.
And I'm trying to think, were they a part of Embracer? I think Anime Limited. I think they might have bought them off them, which is kind of crazy.
I don't remember them being part of Embracer.
Because Embracer kind of broke into all these parts, but they had all these things, not just game studios. And I feel like Anime Limited somehow might have been caught up by them. Like they caught up Limited Run, they caught up Dark Horse.
Yeah, they have the majority of Dark Horse, if not all of it.
That's one headline I caught. I guess it's really just for the channels, right? For the distribution channels.
Yeah, for Europe and stuff. And they were in France and UK and Ireland. Basically, that's mostly where they were. And I'm sure they could probably figure something out for the rest of Europe. And I think they've done theatrical, just like G-Kids as well. And that was something I think they thought highly of, was what G-Kids did with Studio Ghibli and showing stuff in the theaters. And I know that Anime Limited, they had Scotland Loves Anime, and that was like their kind of anime film festival and stuff like that they did in Glasgow.
Yeah, so there's those.
There was a brief period where I forgot Toho Cinema was a thing, and I was like, Toho Project bought what?
Yeah,
how rich are they?
I thought Toho was a game for a brief moment too. Then I was like, oh yeah, Toho and the company, the film company.
The film company, yes.
The Godzilla one, yeah, okay.
Okay, so there's that one, and that's to acknowledge. Do we want to talk at any length about Sony buying Snoopy?
So when's the Snoopy anime?
Time, yeah. I know. Well, yeah, he's looking at my watch because my Apple Watch has a Snoopy interface on it, so...
You know what's funny is it made me think of, remember Pure Invention? We had talked about all that stuff, and if you were thinking of anyone getting Snoopy... I wouldn't have thought Sony. I would have thought Hello Kitty and Sanrio.
Actually, now that you bring it up, Matt Alt did write an article about it at the outset of that news, right? And I'm showing the picture the page to James here, and it's a picture of.
It looks like a perfect Charlie Brown. I remember him with the Hello Kitty.
Yeah, so that's like I didn't really put that on the docket for tonight. So I there's a little bit more to it, and obviously there's your usual pros and cons to it. It's just interesting to note on that deal, and now let's add the Canadian slant to this: who Sony bought that stake from, because WildBrain, which is a Canadian company, held a 40+% stake, and that's the stake that Sony bought out, and combined, they now have an 80% stake in the company, in the intellectual property of Charles Schultz. Yeah,
Peanuts.
That's what makes
good for WildBrain.
Good for WildBrain. I guess if the deal was good, I guess.
I'm sure it must have been.
Sure. But there's about a long talk about Matt Alt about Japanese companies buying out American brands, very American IPs, brands, etc. And how something like this would have been an uproar 40 years, like in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, late 80s, 90s, the Rockefeller Center and all that stuff, yeah.
So, and we don't, that feeling by and large, I guess, is not there. That's the crux of it. And there's obviously a lot more, and maybe that's another discussion, but there you go. Okay. Traditionally, towards the end of the episode, we always talk about what's on our lists and what's on our read and watch lists. And maybe I end up having to sit in a therapy session because I felt like that's what happened last time with Kevin.
I heard that you corrupted poor Mo. I heard about that.
Well, you're the one. But you're the one who showed off his picture of all the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten light novels you have, right? All of them. I'll catch up sooner or later, but. I'm holding actually a library. I have my own copies, but before I got them, I actually took out a library copy. And yeah, once again, I'm a proponent of being able to get your stuff out.
Shout out to public libraries.
Yes. There's always an option.
Was that book wet before? or is that because of Mohamed?
Oh, fuck. Anyway.
Put some, you want to put some,
put it in rice.
Yeah, no, put it. You have to say.
I meant to say use.
Is there rice over there?
Use tissue paper.
Oh, here. I'll let you make an attempt on that later. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Well, it's dry now.
No, the top isn't.
Oh dear.
So we'll just leave that there for just a little longer. Anyway, we're not gonna. The public library will not hear this episode, just for reference.
That's what you
said, but
Mike.
will their AI scanners detect it?
I know.
Can I do that?
Anyway.
Oh God.
How bad is it?
It's not that bad. But it's only the top. But
I'm sure
you want to put. Well, actually, napkins would have worked too. But basically, every couple 2 to 3 or 4 pages, you put a piece in there so that. The water would kind of go into
your capillary reaction right there. And anyway, so there's that. So who wants to at least mention a couple titles that they're watching, reading, etc.?
I saw a fantastic live action Japanese movie.
What'd you see?
Rental Family.
Oh yeah, Rental Family.
Can that be considered a Japanese movie? I mean,
it's a talk.
It is set in Japan.
It is the talk.
This is not related to Rent a Girlfriend at all, is it?
I mean.
Well, that could be torture all in and of itself. So there,
I know it's not.
Brandon Fraser.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
there's a lot.
Fraser's in this?
Yeah, he plays an American actor in Japan, and then he's
the guy being rented.
He's the guy being rented, and he goes around.
It's I will say that he does several jobs, doing several different things, and it's all very Japanese, and a lot of Japanese is spoken, and he speaks Japanese, and it is set in Japan, so Japan.
Does Brendan Fraser speak Japanese? Or
He
just
speaks.
the character?
He speaks Japanese.
That's cool.
He's been in the country for 7 years. He got there for like a commercial as Mr. toothpaste cleaning, like a Mr. Clean from Simpsons type situation.
Oh, okay.
And then, he thought he'd become
Commercials,
big, and he didn't. He just stayed around and started acting, and it's so nice and wholesome because he's Brendan Fraser. He's just so Brendan Fraser, man.
I mean, there were reasons why he was away from the industry.
Well, that's
a
a well-known story by this point, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Okay. James, hopefully it's dried off.
No, mine didn't get really hit at all, so it's just fine. But I brought over the Wash It All Away manga, and I did that because it started the anime this season in January. One episode's out on Crunchyroll already, subbed in English. So it's been nice watching that so far, and we'll see how it goes. The manga's nice. It's a nice slice of life manga.
And the manga has ended in Japan? It's set to end.
Correct.
So
it is ended in Japan, and they are just finishing it up. Square Enix Manga is releasing it in English.
Kevin?
What you been reading?
1 or 2 titles.
I haven't read anything. I've started reading a specific Western comic, but I'm going to wait until I read more to have a better opinion of it. Mm-hmm. One thing I've been playing is another Code Recollection.
And I've played all of it, and I did that in basically, I did the first one day, and I did the other one in 2 days.
Good for you, Doc.
But there is differences, just to let you know. So
I never played the DS ones.
The first one's a DS game, but no, the second one is a Wii game. And it was only released in Europe. Mm-hmm. It never got brought out into North America. They changed a lot in the second game for the Switch and stuff like that. But it's kind of, there's some crazy plot twists, all this weird stuff in the second game. The second game's like, what the heck did I just get through it? But the first game, it really hews close to that DS game. The only thing that's different is maybe some of the puzzles and how they did certain things and stuff like that.
One of the early puzzles involved trying to get a key out of this, like,
out of the stool?
Of the stool. And that was kind of annoying to do, like, rotating my Switch around. I think it was a lot more intuitive on a DS.
I think you were able to use like a Pro controller, the gyro and that, because I did it. I wasn't playing via the handheld. I was playing via on the big screen for that whole thing.
So normally I do have it hooked up to a monitor, but just coincidentally in this case, I was just having on a handheld mode. And that was kind of annoying.
And then I think the other thing with this is, I guess it is, more cinematic, if you want to call it, because you have English voiceover and Japanese voiceover for both full games. Like, that wasn't there before. So
I think I'm going to switch to Japanese then. I
think I played Japanese through both of them. So I haven't done an English run yet.
So I've started this run in English. It's a little stiff at times.
Okay.
Like, the main character could be a little better, but maybe she'll warm up over the course of the game. So I'll hold out. I think I'll go through it all in English first to see. I don't think the game is very long, right?
Yeah, it's not long for both of them and stuff like that. It's a little longer for the second game, but the first game was very short, even in the DS version.
And because I've always, not always, but I knew the game was well regarded amongst its fans, and this is a first-party Nintendo title that I knew would not stick around for too long.
The other thing is, it was a Sing title, and remember, Sing is no more and stuff like that, and people also remember them for the Hotel Dusk series, those two games on the DS.
Okay, so that's why I wanted to give this one a shot, and it has a bit of that kind of air of mystery to it, and I always liked those kinds of games, so that's why I decided to pick that up. Well, decided to play it. I've owned it for quite a while.
Well, I think it was one of the ones a lot of us figured, we should get it now because it was at the end of the Switch life cycle, and that type of game was probably going to be a very low seller. I don't think they talked about in any financial reports, so it probably sold garbage. Yeah. Which is sad, but hopefully it found an audience.
Who knows? Well, on the top, remember how tough it is to get an audience, especially for this podcast.
You didn't have to add that part, Mike. That was already implied.
Yes. Amy, One or two things.
Two series that finished. Of course, My Hero Academia finished recently, so that was an exciting finale. Also, the first season, don't know if there's more, of the anime called Sanda, which is a 14-year-old boy who is the reincarnation of Santa Claus and is compelled to grant children's dreams. He does turn into a giant buff old man.
Did he get like a code or something? Like, are we talking like a Santa Claus Tim Allen remake or something?
Whenever Red touches him, he turns into the the giant muscly Santa.
Is it like a Sailor Moon type transformation?
No, it's horrific and grotesque. Like he actually his body grows. Doesn't look painful most of the time, except for that one time. I have been watching Spy Family as it's coming out, as well as My Hero Academia Vigilantes. As far as reading, I did, and I don't read a whole lot of manga, but recently a manga called Rika Te Kanji, which is apparently one of the first Yuri translated into English, had a show in New York, so like a showcase of artwork by the author. So that interested me enough that I read through that, as well as an anime, or as a manga series called My Journey to Her, digital only, unfortunately. But not a lot of trans manga out there, so it was great to have, authentic trans manga, like the main character goes to Thailand and everything, which is a requirement in Japan still, unfortunately. Yeah.
Wait, strictly they have to go to Thailand?
No, they don't have to go to Thailand, but there's I think not a lot of surgeons in Japan.
Okay.
So there's limited options. It's not even Southeast Asia, just Thailand.
I'm thinking like Vietnam, Cambodia, all those ones.
I wouldn't go to Cambodia for
I'm just saying that you never know where people. But
the main sort of new series that I was recommended and I've started going through is called "With You, Our Love Will Make It Through."
That name sounds familiar.
Is a romance where it's a 15-year-old girl and a giant blue dog man.
That was last season.
Yeah.
He's a dog boy.
But I've seen the images.
Yeah, it is surprisingly wholesome and sweet. Like it has some weird moments where the dog boy is trying to control his instincts, but it's kind of cute. Like it's nice. It makes me. I started watching it because it was recommended to me, and I don't know how many years it'll take for Beastars to end. I
think it was done too, wasn't it?
Finish up.
So the series that I'm mentioning, which is really hard to shorten, With You. Yeah. Anyways,
let's
I'm watching its dub, so it is almost done its dub. I think I watched episode 9 out of 12. So 9 just came out last week.
Mm-hmm. Well, for reference, the over-under on Beastars is the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. So
no, that looks it looks like it might be springtime for that one.
Yeah. So
I bet they come out the same day.
Because it's
so that would be so you're betting on a push.
Is that the terminology?
Could be.
There's I think the test's wrapped up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
and then
so it's only a matter of time.
I work near there. They're running all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's
they passed the 30-day test, I think is what it is.
Mm-hmm. So I guess they're just doing the assessments after that post test, and we'll see what works.
Also, for those who don't know, Sanda is made by the creator of Beastars, Par Itagaki.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so mine. Well, once again, the self-hate for watching an anime that's based on a light novel has reared its ugly head again. So who's the unluckiest title this time around?
Did you watch the new Full Metal Panic season that happened years ago?
Oh yeah, that's right. No, not yet.
Not all of it's trash, Mike.
No, the thing was,
not all of them cater to 13-year-old boys.
Oh boy. Good Lord. Anyway,
and I said,
last night I did finish up volume 8 of My Stepmom's Daughter, and I'm going to pause reading that for a little bit, just for now. But I did finish Catch Me at the Ballpark a couple nights ago. Loved it. That's a good watch. I have to say that.
And that was based off a manga.
Yeah,
that was from Kodansha Morning, and I can't remember if they brought it over to K-Monger.
I think after the baseball season, after the way the Jays everything happened here in Toronto for the Blue Jays, that's a very relatable watch right now. So.
And it was happy-go-lucky. As I said, it wasn't like one continuous episode. You had like usually 2 to 3 different stories, and it kind of centered around different people at this stadium and stuff like that. And I know you said you felt heartwarmingness about who the mascot actually was. That was definitely a heartwarming episode.
That was probably the single best episode, right? Because, watch it if you want.
That's a good sell. Huh? When you talk about a mascot, like, I'm curious about that episode.
The thing
I haven't seen the show, but I'm like,
you have to watch a good the series to that point when they kind of blow because this is one of the later episodes.
Yeah, but I'm aware of it won't have the same impact unless I watch the entire thing.
Yeah,
not sure I want to watch the entire thing, but I'm really happy for you that such a sweet. Episode
it's kind of about the people interacting and it just happens that it's set in a baseball stadium.
Yeah. I think it's maybe not the masterpiece, but you come away feeling your time was worth it.
Because those series are all about the human interaction.
Yeah, that is.
I like titles like that too.
I did start watching, and I'm through 5 episodes, I think, of Days with My Stepsister, and that's the one. That's also a light novel. That's the self-hate, by the way.
No, see, it's because I've watched anime long enough, and I watched plenty of romantic comedy series targeted to teenage boys back in my day and during college and in early adulthood. That whenever I hear those titles, I can't not help but think that they're gonna be like some smutty title when you bring up these titles.
This is like but it's so subtle. I find it a bit of a people make fun of Angel Next Door as a slow burn. No, this is a slow burn.
Someone needs to release a title with the subversive title of the series called what? My girlfriend is roughly my same age and from the same socio-economical background? Impossible! Yeah, that sounds like one of those really long Japanese titles.
We were talking about that earlier, right?
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Manga-wise, on the Manga Up app, because of all the titles I'd been reading, there was one series that did get my attention. Falling for Her Secret Side, which is completed by Squaresoft. I read that, and if you were into other say that Angel Next Door, this one doesn't feel quite as sappy, but it has a nice little premise. Although things that happen in the course of the anime and events kind of happen in the course of this story, like Valentine's Day chocolates, like Christmas, like New Year's, like a gift, and the guy eventually saying, "This is bad for my heart." So, at some point, and both of them getting sick at one point or another with a fever. A few parallels, but this was actually a nice read, and I'm told this is also based on a light novel. Mercifully, I can't find a translation, but it does lead me to one of my own moral dilemmas right now. I've been reading a lot of fan translations and scanlations as of late, right?
Do you feel bad about that, Mike? Stealing from those hardworking artists?
I know. Well, please. Well, why don't we get those Japanese marketers to actually try to sell it to us?
I mean, if only they knew the audience out there.
Yeah. Well, but this is like one of those weird dilemmas. We don't have there are some titles and there are some light novels that people have attempted to make translations for, and I actually have an EPUB of a couple of these. And they're in this thing, and they're in this Kindle that I'm holding here in my right hand, which is still dry. So,
but But that has a special feature, Mike. It's waterproof.
Yeah, okay. So that's and that's the pause, because I'm going to actually read one of those translations in here, and maybe I'll talk about that in further on when I do a stream tomorrow. So there's that's part of it, and it made me reflect. You know, we're like, I've wanted to, like, I'm glad Amy's here, because I've wanted to have this conversation, and maybe we've jumped time too much, because I want to have this chat about the merits of the light novel right now, and in terms of like your impressions of it for kids and students. We talk about going to a library, renting, borrowing manga from libraries, being while Mo sends the drying out copy here. And, you know, how beneficial and how nice is it? Is this really a good thing that we can see manga in libraries? Which I guess is yes. And the perspective of, okay, encouraging kids to read, and then where does the light novel still sit in all of this right now? Is this an ends justify the means when, in terms of trying to get people to read anything? Because I guess that's the case for manga.
So I do feel like this is an evergreen topic, like we can revisit at any time.
Yeah, I guess that's a space heater.
Yeah, but in brief, I think that, like, you know, for clarification, I've only ever taught English once, but from my observations, I have never seen a student read a light novel. However, I have seen them read fan fiction. I've heard them talk about fan fiction. But light novels have never come up. Graphic novels and manga have come up. But light novels have never come up. I mean, part of this might be where I'm currently working, there isn't an anime club. It might come up if that was, if the nerds were more concentrated and talking about that kind of thing. But if it's accessible, if it gets people reading, great. I don't think you'll see any educator who thinks, well, some of them unfortunately would, but any educator worth their salt wouldn't say, oh no, things with pictures are bad. Short things that are light and fluffy are bad. Literacy rates are so bad these days that, we need all the help we can get. Even as an arts teacher, I need any help I can get with increasing literacy rates for teens. It is terrifying at times. Just the poor reading level and writing level that teenagers have these days. So if light novels help, great. If manga helps, great. If fan fiction helps, great. If playing RPGs instead of Fortnite helps, great.
The idea of sitting down to curl up and actually try to read something and be interested, right?
That's actually
read something, even if it's smut.
And we've had the discussion for many years. It's been R.L. Stein, it's been Harry Potter, it's been so many different series and stuff like that.
Don't read Harry Potter.
Truly,
I'm
like
just
whatever
giving you an example, Amy. I'm giving you an example, Amy. Just an example.
Yeah, truly, like whatever it takes for them to read. Like
it's justify the means.
Yeah.
Right?
Get them hooked on phonics.
So there's your ends justify the means. I mean, as I said, my next read is probably a fan translation of a light novel, which recently came out as a manga. I guess an anime adaptation is inevitable. You hope it is. It's a cute story.
I was thinking, Mike, did you skip over Mo for what he was either watching?
No,
or
he already did.
Actually,
Brendan Fraser. He's been watching
Brendan Fraser. I guess I was asleep at the wheel on that.
I have been watching anime too, guys. We got seasons 2 of Frieren. Got my boy Star coming back for that. That's gonna be cool.
Frieren coming out?
Season 2 this month.
It's not out yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
But soon. Have you seen Frieren?
Yeah, it's great.
I like Frieren.
Well, I told you, Mo.
What if they made an isekai where no one gets stuck anywhere?
Anyway,
and there's no trouble ever.
Don't you know, it's like I'm trying to learn like you are and go back to the theater again with the new Lupin movie.
I do have one final thing to mention here.
Frieren's just fantasy, though.
I get to show this to you guys, to the others. I showed this to Amy when she got here, And it's a bit of a spoiler for the Saturday morning stream I'll do, because I'm going to be doing some show and tell and unboxes. Right against the sofa over there. If you look closely, my sisters for Christmas gave me a Lego set. You can go, Kevin. You can go see it. Yeah, it's an Optimus Prime.
Oh, I didn't see that there.
It's an Optimus Prime that, when assembled, can actually transform.
Oh yeah,
This will be. That's what my sisters gave me for
How many
for
pieces?
Christmas. I think it's over like 1,100 pieces or something.
So I'm guessing, is that your project for 2026?
This could be one. That could be the big project for 2026. This episode will go out.
508 pieces.
Oh,
Yo, Kevin, show it up.
So, we'll post. Maybe we'll post a picture of Kevin holding that onto the website a bit later on.
If I consent to it.
If you can see.
Yeah, well, I'm in the picture too. Send it to me, please.
I will.
This episode will not go out before the stream happens, so I'll show that. So you guys are kind of getting
You should do
previous
this on
one.
stream.
Huh?
You should like assemble it on stream.
That's the thing. It could be the project. My best friend who's a big Lego guy. Maybe I'll let him in on the
Hey, have him go over.
Yeah, we should have him over.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah, it could be.
New York Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. But that's the last thing worth mentioning. And I'll keep everyone updated as we go. The roadmap, according to ChatGPT, suggests at least doing a couple recordings a month. So at least it suggested 2 regular episodes and then 1 space heater chat. I could go the other way around, and then once a week put up shorts based on the streams and the podcast episodes within a week of the podcast episodes going up. A stream a week. Later, a few days later, you can put up a reel based on it. That's part of the roadmap. Maybe if I actually follow it, we'll see what else it says. Anyway, that's about it. So if you're on YouTube, please give this a thumbs up or leave us your comments down below, or go to animeroundtable.com for all the ways you can reach us. This also includes the socials, YouTube and Twitch accounts. As for the podcast side, please leave us a review if you can, wherever you get your podcasts, as it would greatly help us.
Yeah, 5-star reviews, please, or any reviews.
A thumbs up always helps, as I said. And looking at Spotify, I know at least we got 3. So on that topic, if you do have a Spotify account, please check out the Anime Roundtable's playlist for a list of music based on things we've mentioned below. And since we're on Twitch and YouTube more often, give us a follow or subscribe there so you can be notified whenever I go live to do a stream.
So I'm more really curious now. What fanfics are they talking about?
We'll figure that out after the recording.
Come back next time.
Yeah, come back next time. The opening theme song is FUBUKI Snowstorm by Pico Masaki. And really, you could have listened to any anime podcast in the world, but you decided to listen to one of the oldest, nearly going on 20 years. We really do appreciate that. So that's it. Until next time. Thanks for watching. Good night from Toronto, and join us again for another edition of the Anime Roundtable.